Hello, and welcome. So I'm not sure when it started, but at some point in the last 3 months, I started this thing with my friend Asa where I've just been collecting DVDs for him and Blu-rays, because I'm often coming across like duplicate copies of things, in charity shops, or, upgrading my DVD collection over to Blu-ray. I've been, saving up the DVDs that I don't need anymore. So first up, the first one on the list is Brass Eye, the complete series. This is a really, really funny series from back in the 90s. So this show was really kind of pushing the boundaries of what you can get away with in a comedy show. I don't think anyone would be kind of daring enough to make a show like this today, apart from perhaps, South Park. But I suppose this was quite outrageous even back in the 90s when it came out. But yeah, really, really funny show. And I've got 2 copies of it, so I'm giving him one. And Ace is a big fan of that show, so yeah, he'll appreciate that. Next up, another legendary one. We've got Ghostwatch. So this was like a legendary sort of TV broadcast from the early 90s. It's very well known. And it was kind of marketed as if it was real. It was like a real life broadcast, even though it was all fake. Obviously, it's a piece of fiction, but it was kind of marketed as if it was real. And they only said that it wasn't real, like on the small print when it was out in the papers. So a lot of people watched this for the first time not knowing. And a lot of people got very freaked out by it. It's a very kind of famous event in TV history, I suppose. But for me, it's just a real kind of British horror classic. I always enjoy watching it. I mean, given the reputation that it has, a lot of the time people probably watch this and it's kind of cheesy and it doesn't quite live up to what people expect of it. But yeah, I just love this. I remember this was on the on Virgin Media On Demand box years and years ago. It got put on there around Halloween time, very fittingly. I think it might have been shown on Halloween originally, I'm not sure. Yeah, 31st of October 1992. But the reason why I'm giving him this is because I upgraded it to Blu-ray. Now, probably a bit of a pointless move, seeing as I'm pretty sure this whole thing is standard definition. However, I was looking at a bit of comparison, and apparently the clarity is slightly better on the 101 Films Blu-ray release, and also I really like the artwork for it. Maybe not the most necessary thing to get on Blu-ray, but I did. So but yeah, now I get to give this to Asa for his collection. Next up, one of the greatest dramas of all time, This Is England, 86-88. Absolutely love the design on the box of this, actually. The reason why I'm giving him this is because I upgraded it to Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray edition is exactly the same as this. Looks identical, but because this is one of my all-time favourite shows, I did feel like it was worth the upgrade to Blu-ray. But This Is England just has a certain sort of bleak atmosphere to it. Bleak, depressing vibe, but that's actually really good. I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, but this show, it gets really kind of dark in places. It's it doesn't hold off on a lot of things, put it that way. But yeah, absolutely phenomenal series. One of the best things to ever come out on Channel 4. This was also, I think this was produced by Warp Films. Of course, also same company as Warp Records. But yeah, comes with commentaries. I've listened to some of the commentaries with Shane Meadows and some of the other producers on here. Next up, giving him a comedy series, we have Black Books, the free series of that. This isn't the best comedy ever. I think it was written by the guy who also did Father Ted and IT Crowd. It's maybe a little bit of a weaker series, but I still really enjoy it. I think Bill Bailey was really, really funny in this show. Just a good old sort of British comedy, I suppose. Simon Pegg was in one episode. I'm giving him the original DVD releases for this because I've got this nice edition of it, which is looks like an actual book, which is really nice and fitting. It's funny because the theme of this show is this guy who's a bit of an alcoholic and he's just does not care about anything, and the shop is like an absolute heap. Everything is just a mess, and he just tells the customers to fuck off and stuff. But the funny thing with this is that there's a shop in Hastings which is just like the shop in Black Books, but 10 times worse. Just random books and products just piled up all over the place. It's like an Aladdin's cave, which of course I absolutely love places like that. But yeah, it's like Black Books but even worse. Yeah, I really like the theme tune to this song. It sounds like an 80s Tom Waits song. It sounds like something off of Rain Dogs. Also giving him a copy of the latest James Bond film, No Time to Die, on Blu-ray. This is a bit of a spoiler for a future video, but I managed to get this 4K edition of the film for very cheap, so giving him the Blu-ray. Next up, one of my favourites, Louis Theroux with his Weird Weekends. Really great DVD release. This is from the early 2000s. So yeah, this includes the episodes Porn, Survivalist, Gangster Rap, love that episode, and UFOs. And then there's also a bonus episode, which is When Louis Met Jimmy, which is, of course, the one where he spent a few days with Jimmy Savile, which is really quite fascinating, really. You know, there's a lot of people analysing that documentary and analysing a lot of the weird, peculiar things that Jimmy Savile says. You know, all these kind of bizarre sort of things that are vaguely threatening, like when he found out Louis Theroux's address, like personal address, and then wrote it on a piece of paper for him to find. Really, really fascinating, peculiar stuff. I'm a big true crime fan, and one of the things that really fascinates me is kind of what made, like, a psychopath or an evil person the way that they are. And I find stuff that's kind of analysing Jimmy Savile to be very, very fascinating. So that's a really interesting one. And he, of course, later did a documentary all about Jimmy Savile after he passed away and the revelations came out. And also the bizarre thing with this is you can watch it with commentary from Jimmy Savile. You can like go on like the porn documentary or the gangster rap one, and then at certain points like an icon of Jimmy Savile will pop up and you can see fucking Jimmy Savile reacting to it. So very peculiar. But yeah, the reason why I'm giving this to Asa is because I also found this other DVD edition of it, which is the exact same thing, except it's got this really snazzy packaging with all kinds of different images from the documentaries. Love that. Awesome. Next up, giving him my Blu-ray copy of Trainspotting. This is, of course, the version that has the red tint on it. I kind of figured, you know, now that I've got the new edition, I'm probably not going to watch this, you know, so handing it over. And also the Spider-Man trilogy, the original, you know, the classic Sam Raimi trilogy. I'm giving him this because I don't need it anymore because, as you remember, I picked up the 4K edition, got that for my birthday. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm going to be doing another giveaway video very soon to another person, so stay tuned for that.